Welcome to the Game of Risk, everyone. I'm your host, OliveXC, a top Grandmaster in this game. Today, we are doing Throwdown Thursday, where I do a 1v1 with poorly played Risk and teach her and you, the viewer, how to be better at 1v1s. Do you want to introduce yourself, poorly played Risk?
Yeah, thanks, Olive. This is Mallory from Poorly Played Risk, and I am trying desperately to learn 1v1s from the best 1v1 player I know.
Aw, thank you. So on this map today, we'll be showing you the Jules Verne's map. This is a very common world domination 1v1 style map right here. So I am going first. So we can see the settings right here. Manual setup, 120 seconds. We're doing that for information purposes. Normally it's 60. Progressive, fog on, blizzards on. Here are the bonuses. Shark Gulf is a +3. Lava Lands is a +4, Mount Franklin +5, Western Forest +6, Serpentine Peninsula +3, Tatterns Fen +4, Washington Bay +4, Lake Grant +5. An interesting thing about this map and the way this blizzard is that now we have a two-territory continent of Shark Gulf. So therefore, one of my first selections should be there. So Mallory, do you know if I should be selecting South Mandible Cape or North Mandible Cape?
I do know which one you're picking, and I'm hoping you don't pick it.
Of course I'm going to pick it. So let's explain why I took South Mandible Cape and Mallory took North Mandible Cape. This on my screen is a territory disconnection map. The numbers show how many territories the nearest and next nearest territories have. The number shows how disconnected a territory is. The lower the number, the more disconnected. The higher the number, the more connected. You want to select the most disconnected territories possible to stay spread out around the map. If you can connect your opponent, you have a better chance of blitzing their army and getting a significant advantage. So as an example, if I look at this 5 right here, it's orange, which means it's connected to two territories, this 6 and this 11. Additionally, if I look at how many territories this 6 and 11 are connected to, this 6 is connected to this green 11, so that's like a 3. And this 11 is connected to this blue 18 and this yellow 11, 4 and 5. So that's where the orange 5 comes from. So I will continue selecting the lowest numbers on this board in order to generate an advantage. So I'm going to be selecting this one here because it's an orange 5. So what is poorly played Risk going to select? Yep, now poorly played Risk selected this one because an important concept on Jules Verne's is symmetry. On certain continents, there are two territories that are very good to select. The other territories are very bad to select. On the Tatterns Fen, the best territories are the one that I selected right here, Cape Claw, and what Mallory selected on the East Cliff. If Mallory didn't select that, I would select it, and then she has to select a much worse territory out of the remaining ones that are left. Another common principle where you see this pattern of there's two good territories on the continent is with the Lake Grant region with Granite House. This is the best territory because it's a yellow 11. Now, Mallory, what should you select if I select Granite House? Iron Beds, correct. You want to select Iron Beds. It is a green 12. The others are very high numbers with lots of connections. You don't want to be selecting these, especially early on. Another area where we see this rule of symmetry is in the Mount Franklin area. I will select Slope. Poorly played Risk. What territory should you select? Yes, Mount Franklin. You're so quiet right now.
Every time I put a thing down, I'm afraid I'm gonna make a big mistake. And
You're
Olive,
doing a
I'm
wonderful
gonna
job
trust
right
you not
now.
to use this against me. But if you just spam oops at me every time I place one, you will beat me mentally before the game has even started.
Don't say that. This is going to be you'll be participating in
No,
the 1v1 tournament.
I trust every single person watching this video to never ever use that against me. I trust them.
Oh, okay. So I'll continue selecting the best territories. Since there's a blizzard here, and this is an important concept, when there's a blizzard, certain territories are going to have less connections. An example would be the lava field is normally connected to 3 territories. Now it's only connected to 2. Additionally, since the 15 is a blizzard, this is now a much more disconnected territory than normal. So I'm going to select it. And Poorly Played Risk is reacting to it by taking sand, which is also very disconnected. Good job. Another good thing about I like to consider with this map is within the Serpentine Peninsula is there are some territories again that are very disconnected here, and generally the bottom part of the map can be more ignored. So I'm going to be selecting this territory here as it's the lowest number and the least connected within the region.
I kind of wasn't expecting you to take that.
What were you expecting me to take?
I don't want to say.
I'm just trying to be
I
nice.
was
I'm trying to teach the
I was
audience.
I was expecting you to take something in Washington Bay because of the blizzard that's there.
Yeah, but there's a lot of very, very kind of equally kind of connected areas that you could potentially go for. So normally within Washington Bay, they're all kind of around equal in size, but generally you just want to kind of select some of them. You want to be a little careful of the one where this blizzard is right here, because that can potentially cut you off from the bottom. Another very good territory I like on this map right here is Safe Island, because if I look, it's an 11, so it's a very, but it's also only connected to 2 other things, so it's a very common area for player 2 to hide their army. So as we continue selecting our territories here, right now, Poorly Played Risk and I have done about 8 selections each at this time. So this is a 39 territory map. Normally it's 42, but with the blizzards, it is at 39. So I'm going to select a total of 20 territories, and Poorly Played Risk is going to be selecting 19 territories. So I'm just going to be continuing to select the lowest numbers and the least connected possible here. An important thing about this map, because normally in a lot of 1v1 maps, you want to kind of group everything together in a line. And the benefit of doing that is you will be able to then hopefully group your opponent in a line. However, since there's a lot of territories that are super connected on the map, like take a look at the center, and there are lots of territories that are not connected on the map, if you could keep selecting the non disconnected areas, like the lower numbers, the yellow colors, the orange colors, and your opponent just puts everything in a line, you are more likely to stay disconnected. So you want to keep on selecting the lowest numbers and the brightest colors as you can. So Poorly Played Risk is deep in thought right here.
I'm just double checking the map.
Always look at your disconnection map right here. This is on the Risk Forever channel. Their team is responsible kind of for creating these maps. Full credit goes to them. These are wonderful maps right here. So that territory is all right. So the last
Yeah,
continent
I
we haven't
think
selected
that's
yet.
all for yellow. I
Yep.
was just double checking that.
Yeah, is the Western Forest region. So within Western Forest, the best area is normally Pacific Forest, but there's a blizzard, so I generally don't want to select that right away. So I'm going to select the next best one, which is Mersey River. So which territory do you want to select here then to counter this? Yes, West Forest.
Nailed it.
Yeah, so normally Pacific Forest, Mersey River, and West Forest are the better territories to be selecting here. I'm just going to focus on taking advantage of the blizzard, selecting my territories, and trying to keep the map open. The most important territories you want to avoid are in the center: Coral Road, Glycerin Creek, Balloon Road, and Pottery, as they're the most connected areas on the board right here. If you can avoid making these connections until the very end, you can use that to develop an advantage. So you selected a green 18. So I'm going to be selecting a little bit lower number, taking advantage of the blizzard we have right here. An interesting thing about this map is it's only kind of occasionally that you will see the blizzards be very game changing. Most of the time, the map is going to be pretty open here with the opportunities of what players may decide to do. Yep. So Poorly Played Risk made our selection there. I think that's that's pretty good. So I'm just going to continue selecting my territories. It's a little tough right now.
Nothing but bad picks left.
So I will select here. It does give you a potential areas to hide your army in the south, but I know that now, so now I can try to prepare against it. But I think you're doing a pretty good job selecting right now. The blizzards are impactful without being too crazy.
I also, as the second person, and you tell me, Olive, if that's a good strategy or not, I try to do my best as the second person to checkerboard myself as much as possible,
You have to stay
which should
disconnected.
theoretically make it harder for you to take a lot because that's going to force you into a bunch of little splits.
Ideally, but in general, and you brought up a good point, you don't want to split as player one unless there's a very good strategic reason. Instead, you want to be able to put your thing in one army, because if you find your opponent's army, you can blitz it right away and get very high odds when attacking them. All right, okay, that's interesting. So since you took there, that means that there's like a less likelihood that you'll be able to connect me. I want to avoid the center because that's like an 18. So I'll just have to continue selecting the lowest numbers possible. I'll take this one here. But you did some very nice picks in the south, like Mallory and Serpentine Peninsula. It's a good chance you'll be able to hide your army and get a good advantage. Maybe you should be the teacher of this series.
I don't know about that. I'm over here winging it.
No, you're doing a great
Oh,
job so
no.
far.
No, I see. I'm almost running out of time. I need these 2-minute turn timers.
Well, they're only 60 seconds. We're just doing this for the audience right here. So as we're selecting the remaining territories at this time, yep. So what I'm just trying to do is trying to keep things like disconnected. I'm trying to keep myself open and being able to attack. I took a higher number here, but now you kind of have to take bad choices. As you get to the remaining areas of the board, you just have to be a little bit cautious about what you want to select. So when I see this board here, and my potential options. I noticed that Mallory, you took over Glycerin Creek, so I think
Yes.
So it looks like I have some options here. So I think what I'll probably do is select this territory here.
Mistakes were made. I messed up.
No, you didn't mess up. I think you actually have a good chance to take this. Because what's very common on this map and what makes this a very, very strong map is the ability you have to potentially hide your army. So
When
there's
you say hide, is it
so
picking a
basically
place
place
that you
yourself in a
think
very
they won't find?
yeah, in an area where they can't find you and then hit you. You've done a good job. You have a good chance to hide your army up top and potentially get the win here. So let's see what you are able to do. Yep, you place there, and I think you have a good chance of being able to hide your army here and to get a good advantage over me. Let's see if you're able to find the right way to do this. So some good options. Yeah, so now I want to group everything together into one army and then attack. So you left, yeah, your troops there. Very good. I don't have access to it. I can't hit you, but you have access to me. You've done an excellent job, poorly played Risk. So given what's happened here, what I can do here is I'll just take some territory, and I'm just going to focus on attacking around the map when I can. I'm going to try to focus and get you down because an important principle is I want to get you below 12 territories so you get the minimum number of troops. And the way I get you to the minimum number of troops is if I get to 28 territories. And the reason why I want to be at 28 is because since there's 39 territories, if I do 39 minus 28, that puts you at 11. So I'm just going to continue making these attacks here. 24, 25. So I'm just going to keep on attacking. I'm using the slider blitz to minimize my chances of losing troops. One final one here. And now you have the minimum number. Finally, I'm just going to group everything into one area. and then wait to see what you do at this time. But you have a good shot at taking this right here. This is how you would choose to play it. Yep, you're grouping everything together because you have access to all the locations. But you got this, poorly played Risk.
All right, I'm gonna use my slider too because I wanna be fancy like you are.
The goal of this channel is to make the slider blitz famous and no other purpose. So you want to. So the magic number that keeps things in balance is when you can get me down to a minimum of 17 territories. You want to put yourself at 22. However, an important thing as player 2 is that if you have the opportunity to blitz me, you want to consider doing that. But I have a continent as well, and now it's a little bit hard because you took those extra territories. If you can blitz someone right away, you want to consider doing that. Because otherwise, I'm just going to attack around the board and get an advantage.
Okay, is that why you moved your army away from
These are little
mine?
techniques that you can do in
Okay.
case player 2 is able to hide their army. So in this case, if you were to blitz me, it would be very, very hard for you to get an advantage. You'd have to get lucky. I also took a continent. This requires you to have to break my continent. Because if you don't break it, I get extra troops. Yep. Okay, and then you left everything there. All right, so now you have to hide your army somewhere. You're thinking so hard right now. You're taking full advantage of this 2 minutes, poorly played Risk.
I'm stressed out. I am stressed out over here. So I will tell you, I thought that I could keep you from being opened if I maneuvered carefully, but then I realized that if I did that, I wouldn't be able to break your continent. So I kind of miscalculated that a little bit. Once I realized that the only way for me to get up there to break that continent was to open you no matter what.
Yep. So now I'm just focused on breaking the continents. I've broken every continent that you have taken. And now finally, what I'm going to do is I am going to blitz your army. I'm statistically going to get a very high advantage and can gain troops. So in this case, I gained some troops right here. And if you notice, you are at 17 territories right now because I'm following the rule of 3. If my territories are a multiple of 3, I should take one more because you're at a multiple of 3. You get 1 extra troop per turn based on the number of territories that you have. So since there's 39 territories, 39 minus 22 is 17, you're going to get 5 troops. It's therefore not worth it for me to do this like 3v1. I'm going to preserve my troops, leave everything here, and get ready to attack you later. And by slowly gaining the lead on troops, I can take over those extra territories and slowly push myself to getting an advantage. So you need to try to take 5 territories from me this turn, and you need to break my continents. Always prioritize breaking the continents as player 2. Good. Now you can keep on attacking. Because otherwise I'll get extra troops. It's still worth attacking like I got right here. Good. And then a good thing is that I would recommend attacking one more. And do you know why you should attack one more?
I have 21, and that's a multiple of 3.
Yes, I have 18
I win
right
this, that is worth it.
Yes, correct. You lost it, but
me.
it was worth it to do it. So now I'm just going to place everything down here. And a good technique, if you don't know what to do, just attack ones in a line, as you're least likely to lose lots of troops when attacking, and you can gain the lead in territories. I'm just going to attack ones, follow some good pathing, and get the attacks and get the advantage. So now I'm at 24. If I were to attack one more territory, I would be at 25. And that would put poorly played Risk down to 14. 25 plus 14 is 39, which is the number of territories on this map. And I'm successful. Now I group, she only gets 4, and that means the most that she can take from me is about 4 territories. That means if I lose 4, I'll be down to 21, and I'll get 7. At this point, the game is kind of going in my favor because I have so much extra territory over her.
Yeah, and I don't think I can break you both
Yeah.
places.
The key thing to take from this, Mallory, is that if you have the opportunity to blitz the opponent's army, you should, because you get the attacker's advantage and have the highest chance possible of winning. When you left my 17 open, you gave me the opportunity to blitz you and gain the advantage in troops.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, look, did I break you both places?
Yes, you did. You're a winner. So now
I think
I'm
I
at...
lost this one.
Yes. So now we're at 3 cards. So if I had the opportunity to turn in a set as player 1, I should be turning it in right away. And this is because if I can turn in troops and get an advantage, I can make player 2 get less territory. And if they don't have a set, they can't regain that territory. And that can allow me to gain a decisive advantage. So I'm going to continue attacking. 26. 27. So now, right now you're at 12. I'm going to attack one more, because if I win this, you will only be at 11 territories and only get 3 per turn. And it's successful. So at this point, the game is mostly in my favor at this time, because I'll be getting like 7 to 8, and you will be getting about like a 3.
Yeah, and I definitely can't break you both places this time.
Yeah,
I
so
have to get very, very lucky.
that's
Oh,
why I
and those
placed my
don't
2
even
there.
connect.
Don't think of it as me being rude. Think of it as me being smart.
I wanted to win though.
You can't win them all, but the audience won because they learned.
Oh, I love this map.
Yeah, it's a good map, and I'm glad that the audience was able to learn some things here. So we'll just wrap this up quickly at this time. It,
Ooh, I think that was your first bad roll.
well, those happen sometimes, yeah. As we just wrap up this game, everyone, I hope you're all enjoying this series and seeing a really kind of detailed view for beginners, like how 1v1s work and how you can learn more about like the game mode. Subscribe if you're enjoying this type of content, and let me know about down below what questions you have about 1v1 that you want us to answer in a future series. Anything you want to say about your channel as we're wrapping this up, Poorly Played Risk?
Yes, I also have a couple of 1v1 games. I have a 1v1 playlist, and I usually play unsuspecting people in public lobbies, sometimes even unranked because I am such a chicken.
Aww. Yeah, so go check her out. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And with that, OliveXC and Poorly Played Risk are signing off.